Chapter 118. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If the third Hokage couldn't get it, he would never allow Naruto to escape from his control. He originally wanted to use gentle means to slowly win Naruto's heart, but now it seems that the dark forces in the village are not going to give him a chance. Who could it be? Minato's old subordinates. The third Hokage's face was uncertain, sometimes frowning, sometimes smiling, and his frightened face made Danzo feel uneasy. Why did he have the illusion of facing a madman from the Uchiha clan? It seems that you have an idea. That's right, since we can't get it, then they can't get it easily. The cold light of the early morning passed through the window of the Hokage building and illuminated the door of the Hokage's office. It couldn't illuminate the dark hearts of the Sandaime and Danzo, who had their backs to it. After the news of the son of the fourth generation, the news of the nine-tailed demon fox incarnation spread like wildfire. The speed was no slower than Uchiha Manye, who used hundreds of shadow clones to add fuel to the flames. The third generation was not going to move on the reputation of the fourth generation. After all, he was the candidate he picked out. To belittle Minato is to belittle himself. In the version of the nine-tailed demon fox, Minato and his wife did not give birth to a son. There was only the birth of the demon fox, a pair of heirs to the will of fire, who dedicated their young people to save Konoha, and Ming humans are reincarnated children after the death of the nine-tailed demon fox. There have always been many different opinions about the origin of the nine-tailed fox, but no one has come out to dispel the rumors about the Jinchuriki, but this is normal. Ordinary people are just tools for ninjas to vent their anger. How can they let their tools know too much? There are many myths and legends in the ninja world, but one more rumor about a demon fox doesn't seem to be a big deal. The big clans and ninja clans with a certain historical heritage naturally sneered at the rumors of the third generation of the nine-tailed demon fox, and the demon fox was reincarnated as a human. If the tailed beasts really have this ability, this world would have been their world long ago. With inexhaustible natural energy, coupled with human wisdom, they are immortal. They, ordinary people, ninjas. They are too weak. All the tailed beasts, except for the instinctive talent of releasing the tailed beast ball, can only fight and smash for their own power. If it were Tobirama, with this huge natural energy, the ninja world might have flown to the Sea of Stars long ago. There is no need for a village fight every few years. A lot of people died, and nothing was solved. The result of the third generation's counterattack was that the Uchiha servant was delivered to Fugaku. It has to be admitted that the third generation's methods were simple and crude. Not only did he fabricate a life for the nine tails of unknown origin, but he also pushed the reputation of the Minato couple for selflessness to a higher level. At this moment, an hour ago, he was still denouncing the third generation. The villagers of Konoha of the previous generation, in the next hour, immediately turned hostile, clamoring about how they would burn to death the reincarnation of the nine-tails, how to avenge the Minato couple. Weird things happened one after another. In this round of confrontation, the Uchiha won and lost. Naruto successfully stepped onto the stage. If nothing else, at least his safety was guaranteed, but in the future, Naruto's situation will become very difficult. Under the hostility of adults, children who follow suit will also find ways to torture Naruto. As the son of the fourth generation and the carrier of the nine-tailed seal, Naruto, who should have been treated as a hero, will only be discriminated against by the villagers in the future. Before the third generation speaks, this situation will not change for a long time. Is the revisionism of history so strong? In the void, the reflection of many Bienyu stood in the sky, quietly watching Naruto being carried out of the dilapidated old house by the ninja group under the scolding of the villagers. The reflection of Bienyu had no intention of leaving, because Black Zetsu and Obito were watching from the side. This nine-tails Jinchuriki. Black Zetsu stared at Naruto with an unclear mindset. The son of Minato Namikaze has fallen to this state. Konoha is really ridiculous. It's hard to tell whether Obito is happy or depressed. He is a psychopath. After Minato's family was destroyed because of him, he actually stood up for Naruto. Now is the best opportunity. Are you sure you don't want to do it? Black Zetsu urged. He used his senses to the maximum, sensing the reflection of the Wanya Bienyu at all times. Unfortunately, he was so distracted that he couldn't even find a single hair. You can try. To read the exciting novels, go to Falun Novel Network. Obito smiled, but the face under the mask showed no sign of smiling at all. I don't know what happened to Konoha recently. There was a non-existent person, or a ghost, who was bothering him all day long. Every time he came to Konoha, he couldn't leave safely without killing a dozen clones. Forget it, clones are also fate. Are you sure you don't want to tell Madara? Black Zetsu asked. Asking for flowers. Didn't you tell him yourself? Obito didn't agree. The two people with ulterior motives, in the matter of the Grave-Will prison, both concealed it from Madara. In addition to wanting to set a trap for Madara, they also wanted to see Black Zetsu/Obito's attitude towards Madara. Obviously, the result was very satisfying. None of them were good. The White Zetsu clone carrying Obito's consciousness dissipated, and Obito left without looking back, and his whereabouts were unknown. It was just that Black Zetsu didn't know what he was planning. He stared at Naruto all the way, and the roots of the grass and trees in the earth veins were ready to go. He was always ready to make a profit and run away. Many just watched. His absolute confidence in his strength enabled him to eliminate all hidden dangers for Naruto before Black Zetsu could make a move. To be honest, he actually wanted to see what kind of monster Naruto would become when he grew up under Madara's teaching. Even Obito was a stunner, but Madara was able to educate him. There was no reason why Naruto, as the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, could not do the same. If the power to correct world time really existed, Black Zetsu probably wouldn't be able to take Naruto away. In the end, Black Zetsu didn't make a move, but just like many, he watched Naruto go all the way. Naruto's final destination was at the ninja school, which was directly under the jurisdiction of the ninja school. Orphanage institution. There is no reason why Minato and Kushina's child cannot become a ninja. Naruto's support will be allocated by the ninja school and distributed to the orphanage. Before Naruto grows up, he can have a single independent apartment. This will have to wait until he is 6 years old and leaves the orphanage, when the third generation will give the house to Naruto. As a demon fox, Naruto will definitely be looked down upon by the villagers since childhood. At that time, as long as the third generation maintains his daily appearance, he can teach little Naruto a lesson about the will of fire and what it means to sacrifice oneself for others. What is safekeeping? Brainwashing is effective. As the only light in Naruto's childhood, what else can be said about the position of the third Hokage in his heart? History has finally returned to its original track, and no one can predict where the future will go. The stage where the Destiny Child and the Destiny Villain all appeared only for their existence. The prologue of Naruto has just begun, and the only major event left is the night of the Uchiha clan extermination that is approaching step by step. Whether it is destruction or rebirth from the ashes, Uchiha Manye has no way of knowing. Chapter 119. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Naruto's matter came to an end. After he had freed up his hands, the third generation began to torment the Uchiha clan. That night, many people in Konoha villagers saw the Nine-Tails Sharingan. As the rumors about the demon fox became more and more popular, the presence of the Uchiha clan became more and more felt. Whenever the demon fox is mentioned, the word Uchiha must be mentioned. Fortunately, the Uchiha clan's base is on the periphery of Konoha, and the impact they have received in a short period of time is within controllable range. It is not the first time that the Uchiha clan has been isolated by the village. When Madara returned to Konoha, the Uchiha clan had experienced even worse experiences, so the current situation would not cause Fugaku to panic. Notice that when clan members leave the village, try to avoid villagers and don't clash with them. That this is what Fugaku said at the clan meeting. Many didn't quite agree. As the saying goes, one punch is enough to prevent 100 punches. Uchiha is not a second 9-3 sinner. So why is it so? At the clan meeting, many didn't say much. The current Uchiha really can't stand the tossing. They just cleaned up the elders, and the remnants haven't been cleared up yet. The Nine-Tails incident broke out, which was really bad. However, the Uchiha's low-key behavior does not mean that anyone can ride on their heads. These days, the guard team is very busy. A group of guys who have nothing to do are wandering around the streets every day. Most of them are released by Danzo or the third generation, and a few guys with brain problems, who are fooled and come to trouble the guard team. Everyone in Konoha knows that the guard team is basically the family business of the Uchiha. Although after Uchiha Manye came to power, the proportion of foreign ninjas in the guard team is not even half of the Uchiha clan members. Look! Uchiha people, you still have the nerve to stay in Konoha. do you know that the demon fox released by your clan destroyed my family? You still have the nerve to show up here, kid, how are you going to compensate me for my house? At the intersection, a team of Uchiha patrols were surrounded by Konoha inner circle villagers on both sides of the street. Uncle, where did you hear such lies? The patrolman couldn't stand it anymore and couldn't help but stop and confront him. We are the Uchiha clan. Firstly, where did the demon fox come from? Secondly, Uchiha is also a member of Konoha. Why should we release the demon fox and destroy our own home? Stop quibbling. For those who are looking for trouble, the more you pay attention to them, the more excited they become. I'm not the only one who saw the Sharingan in the demon fox's eyes, am I? You, the Uchiha clan, have the iconic Sharingan Magatama. Don't tell me you can't recognize it. Yes, the Sharingan is so big. It's really scary. The man with the wound on his face still unhealed drew circles with his hands, making an exaggerated eye outline. If it really has nothing to do with you Uchiha, where did it get the Sharingan? Could it be that it grew on its own? That's right, I know at a glance that it was you Uchiha who did it. You were exiled here by the village, and you must have been holding a grudge for many years. Among the crowd, a ninja who was not afraid of trouble appeared. Were the Uchiha exiled? There is such a thing. No wonder. Now is not the time to talk about this. No one has given us an explanation for our house. Uchiha. Pay the money. Yes, lose money. Give me back my homeland. The voices of the huge crowd, from quiet to deafening, just need an outlet to vent. Not far away, Many, who was passing by, looked at the Uchiha fool and shook his head helplessly. Although these people are not very smart, they are not really stupid. The third generation in Danzo, can there be no problem? Throughout the night of the nine-tailed fox, the only ones who really suffered serious property losses were the big families in the inner circle of Konoha. To read the violent novels, go to Falun Novel Network. 11 or 12 commercial streets were smashed into ruins by the nine-tailed fox. God knows how long it will take to restore the original customer flow. In terms of losses, they are no less than the villagers in the residential area behind, but do you think they dare to shout for compensation? They dare not come out and shout compensation. It's nothing more than that they can't afford to offend. No matter the third Hokage, Danzo, or even Uchiha, none of them dare to touch the tiger's whiskers. The more they know, the more these superiors in Konoha understand the horror of ninjas. Only the villagers of Konoha who know nothing about ninjas can live so heartlessly. The Hokage is the village chief. They can't afford to blackmail him. Danzo doesn't see anyone all day, and most of the people who know him are only related to the ninja clan. After all this, isn't the only one left, Uchiha, a soft persimmon? Most people don't understand, they just keep pretending to be stupid. Before there is any real loss, it's best to get compensation, but if you can't get it, there's no loss, so why not do it? Quiet. Uchiha Manye split into hundreds of shadow clones, surrounding the crowd of people making trouble. Manye's voice was not loud, but the hundreds of voices coming from all directions were very fragmented. Under the vibration of the sound wave frequency, a large number of people with poor mental endurance fell to the ground on the spot, feeling dizzy and retching. For a moment, the crowd that had just been so powerful immediately became a mess, and people were confused and didn't know where to go. Patrol team, listen up. Send these troublemakers back to the guard team. Let's find out who are the masterminds behind this. Gathering together to cause trouble, how can I still care about you? Recognizing Uchiha Manye, the patrol leader stepped forward and found the real body that had avoided the crowd. Minister, this is not good, right? Don't worry, there's nothing wrong. If we don't stop these things now, there will be more in the future. The third generation will not sit still and wait for death. He and Danzo will. The son is a bad guy, not to mention that Konoha is now seriously injured. Even if more than half of the people in the buildings are killed by the Nine Tails, it will not be a mistake for them to seize power. Konoha has been a wealthy family for so many years, even if two are still too many for the two of them. Minister, there are so many people, and the guards have no place to detain them. The patrol leader expressed his concerns. This is easy. Go to the guard team, find some chunins, go to an open space, and work together with 3.9 people to perform earth flow wall to circle these people in batches. Where's the food? They won't be locked up for long, they won't starve to death. The matter was finalized, the patrol captain did not refuse the time, and many ran away. The crowd before, the ninja who spread the story of Uchiha's past, ran away after seeing Many. Obviously, he knew what kind of person Uchiha Manye was. Run! Why don't you run anymore? In the forest, after the shadow clone caught the fleeing ninja, Uchiha Manye's real body rushed to the scene. Master Manye, I was wrong, please forgive me, please. Falling on the tree branch, the man was about to cry. He was caught by the real person, the notorious Uchiha Manye. It's over, he's dead. Chapter 120. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who asked you to come? Seeing his behavior, Uchiha Manye didn't think he could get anything out of him, unless this guy was playing a trick on him and did it on purpose, but Manye appreciated this kind of person. The more he struggled, the more interesting he found him. No one. Even though he was caught, he still kept a little bit of his professionalism. Swish. The sharp sound of breaking wind brushed past the earlobe. The kunai in Wanye's hand pierced into the tree trunk for a long time before it reached the ears of the captured person. Ninja Mission Hall. I don't know who posted it, but you can get money if you accept it. The man cried and said, Sir, I swear I will never do that again. Do you want to have a next time? Uchiha Manye teased him while releasing the reflection of the prison to check if there were any prying eyes in the 10-mile radius. The mission hall issued such a mission openly, and could directly settle the balance. Was the third generation so anxious to completely break up with the Uchiha? Instinctively, Manye felt that there was a problem, and cast an illusion to hypnotize the consciousness of the person in front of him. Through the description of the environment in his consciousness, that place was not a mission hall, but the back mountain of Konoha. This person's spiritual world was covered by illusions, and the traces left behind were decent. If nothing unexpected happened, it should be the work of a child from a big family. Uchiha Manye usually attributes such unknown guys to Danzo. Today, the grudge between you and me has been renewed, Danzo. Many let him go. There is no point in catching the guards. Danzo's style is not so easy to be caught. There should be many similar characters, and Danzo's strategy is to cast a wide net and catch more fish. It is not a matter of one day to bring down Uchiha, but these things that were supposed to happen have become more radical after the Night of the Nine Tails. Uchiha Manye's guess was right, and this time he really did. Danzo was not wrongly accused. The guards did not intend to hide their movements from anyone. After several mud walls rose, the villagers who were making trouble on the periphery began their first life in an open-air prison in their lives. Without food or water, the growling of hunger in their stomachs continued to undermine their will. Before half a day had passed, some people were crying and howling, saying that they were wrong, how they should not have done that, and how their brains were stuck in the door. However, without Manye's order, the guards would not let anyone go. The third generation Umbu came several times. After all, this matter was not a small matter. The distance between the inner and outer areas of Konoha is not small. It was determined that most of the day had passed since the families of these people knew that their husbands and their families had been arrested. When people gathered to jointly appeal to the Hokage, it was almost dark. Danzo had nothing to do, so he hypnotized a group of genin to spread rumors about Uchiha. Many destroyed a lot of places, and they were all clones, without a single real body. But with these people's tricks, how could they hide it from Uchiha Manye? Based on the residual chakra of the clones, many directly locked their identities from a distance of more than 100 miles. Things after that were much easier. At the gate of the Konoha clan, Uchiha Manye knocked on the door. Either you come out by yourself, or I come in directly. Too lazy to talk nonsense, when ye forced the emperor to abdicate on the spot. Let me warn you first, if you think you have the ability to escape from me, you may try. But if I try to catch you, you will bear the consequences at your own risk. Excuse me. The last sentence was said to the ninja who ran to open the door for him. In this ninja courtyard, several elderly people were so angry that they blew their beards and glared at Uchiha Manye's disdainful remarks outside. Is this Uchiha boy looking down on us? What did these bastards at home do? Where is the clan leader? Why don't you come and see me? that there was a lot of chaos. The person who surrendered to Danzo didn't keep many waiting for long. What he did was for the family, for a small clan like theirs. If there is no reliable and powerful force behind them, no one will know if they die one day and are eaten up. They used to have reliable allies, but after Minato's death on the night of the Nine Tails, they lost everything. The reason these people cooperated with Danzo was not only to leave a way out for the family, but also to take revenge on the Uchiha clan. The villagers of Konoha didn't know about the Nine Tails, but how could they not know? They knew too much about what the Sharingan represented. Uchiha Madara didn't come back, but Uchiha had another existence equivalent to him. All the bad things were related to the Uchiha clan. The good days were ruined again before they lasted for a few days. How could people not be angry? Do you think it's over? No, this is just the beginning. After seeing Uchiha Manye, this small clan ninja showed a hateful look. To read the violent novel, go to Feilu Novel Network. Idiot, that the reason why Manye was willing to talk instead of taking action directly was actually to give Minato face. Minister Wanya, may I ask you where you are going to take my kid? That the elders of the small tribe stood up straight. They were weak, but that didn't mean they could be slaughtered. Hokage building, I need the third Hokage to give me an explanation. An old gentleman, I would like to advise you to just do your own thing and don't get involved in the mess of these guys on the stage. The wealth you have accumulated is not enough for them to lose. That's all I have to say. If you are willing to listen, that's the best. If you are not willing to listen, it's not just his business. I will remember this. Finally, he nodded and Wanya placed his hand on the shoulder of the ninja from the small clan who still had some sense of responsibility. Let's go. Wanya spent the whole night capturing people, from north to south, from east to west. There was no one from the small clans in Konoha that he couldn't capture. The results of one night were simply shocking. More than half of the clans participated in these 237 attacks on you. The plan of the wave, Danzo, the uncrowned king, is really justified. There must be big families, but they are well off, with various secret techniques emerging one after another, and there are many techniques that can hide from the perception of many. Hokage building. Third generation master, how do you think this matter should end? Uchiha Manye sat in a corner of the Hokage's office, drinking the tea brought by the guard. This matter involves too many things, I need to think about it carefully. The third generation did not give a direct answer, but tried to delay time. It's okay. I've been free recently, so I can wait. Drinking hot tea, Manye sat quietly in his original position, motionless, as if he would wait for the third Hokage until the end of time. Damn Danzo, it's fine if you caused the trouble yourself, but why did you ask him to deal with the aftermath after the incident? Danzo did these stupid things, why did you, Uchiha Manye, block the door of the Hokage? If you have the guts, go block Danzo. The third Hokage's head hurts from thinking about it. Inform Elder Shimura to come over. The third generation didn't want to deal with this mess, and finally decided to throw the mess back to Danzo. The root, Danzo received a letter from the third generation. He received detailed information about Uchiha Manye's actions last night, but in the end, Danzo was confident that he had dealt with it cleanly and no one could catch him. Chapter 121. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is indeed very comfortable to be fearless. However, the person is still a clone. The root and Konoha have suffered a series of disasters. Danzo concluded that someone in Konoha village is targeting him, and his strength is so strong that if he dares to show his head outside, he will be killed with a knife. The Hokage building, under the gaze of the ninjas of small and medium clans in the square, Danzo walked into the building without even turning his head. What happened on the night of the nine-tailed fox? Those who are qualified to know are all big clans of Konoha, or they are the wealthy families of Konoha. To be more precise, the Uchiha clan was kept in the dark by the big clans of Konoha. However, a wealthy family can be called a wealthy family, and it must have abilities different from those of ordinary small clans. It is unknown beforehand, but after the transfer of Konoha's personnel, as long as there is enough data, even a fool can see how crazy the third generation and Danzo were that night. If it weren't for the follow-up of the third generation, the operation was too deliberate, and the appearance of wanting Minato to die was too ugly. the small and medium clans might not have guessed what was going on. Joining Danzo and embarrassing Uchiha was a manifestation of their resistance to the third generation. It's a pity that they were still blind and followed such a bastard, instead of choosing Danzo. It's better to follow the third generation and go to the end. Hiruzen, what do you want from me? That when he entered the room, Danzo didn't even look at Many, just ignore him. Minister Many wants to see you. The third Hokage was anxious to pass on the blame. He didn't want to get involved in this. He had just taken the position of Hokage and he still had a lot of things to arrange. The sooner the old things between Danzo and Many were over, the better. Really? Danzo said contemptuously in a long tone, is there something wrong? It's nothing serious. I think Elder Shimura should have the information about what happened last night. Do you have anything to say about this? Many looked very businesslike. If he took Danzo's little tricks to heart, he would be mentally ill. What does it have to do with me? Danzo replied calmly. Last night, the night before, and even the night before, it shouldn't be difficult for Minister Many to know where I am. You've been keeping an eye on me for more than a day or two. Am I right? Danzo's words were known to all, the Uchiha clan was watching him, and everyone in the village knew it. The elders of the village of Keishi and the ninja outside the Hokage building all gave surprisingly consistent testimonies, saying that they spread rumors about the Uchiha people under your orders. Manye put down his hand and emptied the teacup. Minister Many believed it. I always treated the letters complaining to the root about the guards every day as rumors. The Uchiha have worked for Konoha for many years. If they don't even have this little trust, Konoha wouldn't have been safe for so many years. You said, right? Minister Many. Danzo forced a kind smile, looking at his appearance. Many really wanted to advise him to stop laughing. Don't you know what you look like? Of course not, it's just that there have been so many complaints against the elders. I'm afraid someone did it on purpose to damage the reputation of the elders of Konoha. Elder Danzo, please be careful. Don't be fooled, or if you fall, Konoha will lose a pillar. Listening to the hypocritical words of the two, the third generation almost vomited. These two people clearly wanted to kill each other on the spot. If Many couldn't find the location of Danzo's body, the third generation would have been here today. Don't think that anyone in the office can walk out alive. By the way, what do you think about the accusations against those small clan ninjas outside the building? Hey, how can I come? Minister Many, the arrest of people should be decided by you. Danzo still had a smile on his face that deserved a beating. You are so generous. Not as good as Minister Many. Hee hee. Ha ha. To read exciting novels, go to Feilu Novel Network. The third generation wants to beat someone up. Are you done? Then let's go. Konoha needs to be rebuilt. As the Hokage, I don't have that much time to mediate the conflict between the two of you. Sorry to bother you, Lord Sandai. Uchiha Many smiled back. Who is free, you say, Minister Many, that this is really shameless. Is Danzo trying to disgust Many? Or the third generation? Many couldn't understand for a moment. Danzo left without looking outside the building. The small clan ninja who had been standing there for most of the night was. Is this the person you chose? Uchiha Many walked down the stairs slowly, looking at the ninja whose eyes had lost their light, and said. When you supported Watergate, I thought you had the ability to judge people. Now it seems that you were just lucky and happened to run into Watergate. From the beginning to the end, you are just a bunch of pitiful people. You think you are doing it for the good of the family, but you don't know that you are just idiots being used as guns. Even after being sold, they are still counting money for others. How pathetic. In fact, these people didn't say anything, and they probably won't say a word about Danzo until they die. The funny thing is, their self-touching is worthless in Danzo's eyes. Danzo never needs the small clan ninja's stubbornness, because from the beginning, he never trusted these people. Everything is just a lie. Still want Danzo's protection. How can a small clan be taken seriously by him? The older generation knows what kind of character that guy is. but the younger generation is so excited that they really think they have met a wise king. Let the people go, let us go. After asking the guards to release the people, when he led the team to go home, he had no plan to deal with these stubborn young people. If there was still time, he would have suggested saying a few more words, but unfortunately he didn't. Uchiha is now facing internal and external troubles. Outside, the ancestors are plotting ill, and inside, Danzo and the third generation have bad intentions. What can these young people achieve? The reputation of Uchiha has fallen to the freezing point after the night of the nine-tailed fox. No matter how much they belittle it, it will not be too low. It is the fooling of the villagers all day long and the trouble with the guards that give Manye a headache. After today, fine, Danzo's reputation is completely ruined, but he himself doesn't care, so how can he go back and care about other people's eyes? In today's game, Danzo can't be said to have lost, but it is not a win. Many can only be said to have won a little bit of people's hearts, but now this group of people, if they grow up, it will take at least 10 years for them to win. However, it is better for everyone if there are fewer idiots in Konoha. The conflicts between ninja clans have been reduced a lot, but the resentment of the villagers of Konoha is that as time goes by, their dissatisfaction with Uchiha accumulates. Otherwise, it is said that the younger generation of the ninja clan is too naive and Danzo is very insidious. The more suppressed the anger, the greater the resentment that will erupt at that time. Venting it out in advance is not a good thing for anyone, except the villagers of Konoha themselves. However, the incitement of young ninjas can only be said to be average. Chapter 122. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A new year has begun. Konoha has ushered in new vitality. The snow is melting under the footsteps of spring, turning into nutrients and soaking into the earth. Uchiha spent a new year safely. However, the villagers living near the inner block of Konoha have their houses repaired, but Konoha has no reason to provide them with all the supporting facilities for free. If you want to go out again, the villagers who can live in the inner block of Konoha have some assets at home. Konoha and others are also attracted by the money, so they deliberately make things difficult. The reconstruction of the commercial street also costs money, but if you don't pay, I won't take it, so won't it fall on the heads of the leeks in the end? At that time, the inner villagers will be informed that the nine-tailed fox has damaged assets and destroyed buildings, so that those who have forgotten the past will be angry. During this period, 1 or 2 fishing reel pushers will be inserted to accidentally reveal the presence of the Sharingan. How can Danzo and the third generation miss such a three-pronged thing? The public resentment was boiling, and the dissatisfaction with the Uchiha clan had reached the limit of the villagers' tolerance. The third generation suppressed it again and again, and was constantly questioned by the villagers whether he had any hidden secrets with the Uchiha clan. The more brainless they were, the happier the third generation was. The conflict between the guards and the villagers, which started as a trivial matter on 1647, evolved all the way to the point where both sides could fight each other with just a glance. The villagers who were on good terms with the Uchiha were also excluded, and many people chose to protect themselves instead of participating in this vortex of power struggle. They gradually lost contact with the Uchiha. These days, Many has been dealing with the conflicts between the guards and the villagers. These people are cunning, and as long as he is present, they are as obedient as rabbits. Whenever they catch a lone Uchiha, hitting him in the face is a trivial matter. Most of the time, people can shout that their legs are broken even if they are 3 blocks away. Don't ask, just ask about ninjutsu. Any trivial matter can be attributed to ninjutsu. Brother, this is not a good thing. Let's temporarily shut down the guard team. Fugaku looked at his brother in surprise. Did he hear it right? Give up the guard team. This is something Many would do. According to his original temper, Many would not stop until he tortured the villagers half to death, forced the 3 generations to come out to negotiate peace, and signed a series of unequal treaties. What happened today? Could it be that the Many in front of him was impersonated by someone? The situation is out of control. Fugaku walked cautiously towards the ninja tool bag. He felt insecure without the tool in his hand. I think there is still a way to deal with them, but now is not the time. In the future, the Uchiha clan members should also try to reduce going out. Many is worried about Madara. His appearance has changed too many things. Although history is still moving forward, there are too many gaps in details. Infinite Tsukimi, the Uchiha clan's Sharingan is the key. If the quality is not enough, the quantity can make up for it. Madara also has a problem with his brain. Why does he think that humans can live in peace in the illusion world? As the god of the new world, when Madara is there, people may be able to restrain themselves a little, but he can't stay in the ninja world all his life. Madara's departure is a signal for the people living in the infinite Tsukimi to start a war. If people want to understand each other, forget it. No one knows what you are, so how can you understand others? Many, are you okay? Fugaku suddenly flashed, grabbed a kunai, and tapped Manye's forehead. Uchiha Manye was stunned. He saw all of Fugaku's movements. He really didn't expect that he was here to kill him. Speak. Who are you? Manye is not that weak yet. Fugaku exuded a chilling coldness. Manye was too strange today. Could something have really happened? Brother, what are you doing? He was stunned. What was going on in Fugaku's mind? You still call me big brother. Fugaku no longer held back. This guy must be a pawn. Something terrible has happened. Manye has been captured and it is unknown whether he is dead or alive. The kunai pierced into his forehead, and Manye's reflection appeared. He used a knife to wipe out the kunai blade, and finally tilted his head and pointed a finger at Fugaku's heart. Kbek, great joy and great sorrow came too fast. Brother, have you had enough fun? Uchiha Manye said speechlessly, looking at the kunai with only the handle left. Fugaku was a little embarrassed and said, Is it really you? Could it be fake? What happened? Why are you like this? To read the exciting novel, go to Falun Novel Network. Fugaku's expression became visibly serious. It was the first time in so many years that he had seen Manye like this. I can't say for sure. I always feel that something big is going to happen to the Uchiha clan. Even I dare not say that I can lead the clan members through it safely. Manye's words were ambiguous. What he said was true. If it was just a massacre of Itachi and Obito, it would be easy to solve. Obito is just a fool. Before the 6 paths, just be careful of his kamui. As for Itachi, Uchiha Manye has lived for so many years. If he can't even beat a junior, who is still a child, he might as well drown himself. The only person he really cares about is Madara. As long as Danzo dares to show his head, he can be cut off at the moment of the Bienyu reflection. 40% of the Nine-magatama Samsara Eye really gives him the confidence to run rampant in the ninja world. It's just that he can't say these things. At present, the enemy is in the dark, and they are in the light. Madara's strength, whether the Uchiha clan is prepared or not, is actually useless. For him, it's all a crushing situation. Just rush in and it's over. The only people he needs to pay attention to are the 2 brothers Fugaku and Manye, who are suspected of opening the Mangekyo Sharingan. Did your eyes tell you? Fugaku asked after careful consideration. Manye didn't expect that his elder brother's imagination was so strong, but it made sense. The Mangekyo Sharingan had all kinds of strange abilities. It didn't seem strange to awaken the ability to predict the future. That's about right, but it's good to understand. As for the reason, nothing else matters. As long as the Uchiha stays where he can take care of it, it's fine. Konoha has lived for so many years, and the roots of the Uchiha clan have long been rooted in it, including family members, lovers, relatives, friends, and brothers on the battlefield. It's a bit too much to give up these people who will accompany them for the rest of their lives. While Fugaku and the other man were talking in secret, the 3rd generation and Danzo were also thinking about how to give the Uchiha the final blow. The role of the guard is to guard the safety of Konoha. If you want to disintegrate the existence of the guard, you must start from the root. Today that night, the 3rd Hokage planned to give Uchiha Manye a big surprise. The root, the ninja who controlled the sealing technique, went to Konoha's barrier overnight and dug a few holes. With the sealing classes and barrier maintenance logs given by the 3rd Hokage, the root ninjas could easily find loopholes in Konoha's barrier. Having said that, it is also a miracle that Konoha's barrier can last until today. It has been torn down so many times. No wonder in the future, even if he is a famous strong man, he can enter and leave Konoha at will. compared to before the plot began, when Black Zetsu had to be careful when sneaking into Konoha. Chapter 123. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The route moved very quickly, destroying and sneaking in easily, with the Hokage, the biggest traitor, who can't go in and out of Konoha. It's like no one's land. Avoiding the patrol of the guard team, the route Chunin sneaked into a villager's house with the lights on. He stabbed him as soon as he saw him. The silver-white knife light was stained with a blood curtain. The special spices to cover the smell were left behind, and the wives and children of the villagers on the bed were in a deep sleep. The root ninja raised his sword and approached step by step. Just as he was about to attack, there was a noise outside the house. He jumped onto the eaves nimbly and waited for the outsider to come in. He only needed to show a little bit of his body, and he guaranteed that he could make that person die without pain. The knock on the door sounded for a while, and the outsider left when no one responded. With his interruption, the root Chunin had to give up hunting the child to avoid being exposed and delaying the adult's plan. According to his original plan, both parents had to die, leaving the child alone, and he was only saved because he looked pitiful. As roots, they don't need emotions, they just need to be a cold machine. Everything is for Master Danzo Shimura. Swords flashed and blood shone, and the inner and outer areas of Konoha were damaged to varying degrees. Several relatively unimportant information storage and processing points in Konoha were looted. All the ninjas were killed. A processing station near Naruto's orphanage was located. The reflection of Binyu suddenly felt something and looked over there. Naruto has always been protected by many, and he never trusted the third generation in Danzo, whether it is strength or character. Handing Naruto over to them is simply harming others and themselves. Many's perception can be directly shared with the reflection of Binyu, and what Binyu sees, the main body can also know. The reflection of Naruto stayed behind, did not move, because he didn't know what happened. Many just sent a shadow clone over. The remaining main body was still discussing Uchiha's funeral with Fugaku. As for the second round of reflections, many stayed in the guard team, and there were shadow clones there, combined with the guards of the border prison, Black Zetsu. Obito, whatever, if they dared to come, the border prison would kill them. The shadow clones flew over the eaves, rushed out of the clan land, and headed in the direction where the border prison was sensing. The massacre of the route continued, with a few ninjas and most of the villagers who got up at night intertwined to show the methods of the assassins in the enemy village. In the duty room outside the orphanage mountain, the root ninjas slowly walked in. The figure stuck to the wall and blended into the night. 1 step, 2 steps. The cold light of the kunai flashed, and the root jonin killed the man with a single knife. At the same time, he threw out the kunai with his right hand, and the one-handed instant body technique mark. The speed of the chakra flow in the body increased sharply, and the speed of the body's movement continued to accelerate, leaving a residual image on the spot. Before the kunai was blocked by the ninja on duty, the jonin turned around and cut off the target's throat, stepped on the ground and swept to the upper level. Without turning his head, he carried the servant behind him and nailed a dart into his forehead. The last captain on duty tried his best to burst out chakra, trying to make some noise. He didn't know how strong the newcomer was, but when the other party dealt with all his colleagues so lightly, the captain on duty knew that the other party was not a master he could deal with. All he could do was to give the village an early warning. The terror of the jonin, before the wall-hanging rampage, can be known from the number of jonin in each ninja village. As ordinary ninjas, without special talents, their strength ceiling is still gold content. Genin, Chunin, and Jonin. It is not an exaggeration to say that 1 step is a step to another. Seeing too many Kage-level masters, people can always ignore the strength of Jonin. Chunin didn't change his position blindly or perform a substitute technique in front of the jonin. This is no less than showing off his sword in front of Guan Gong, which is simply showing off his skills in front of an expert. All he has to do is to release the large-scale ninjutsu he has prepared as quickly as possible. He can't touch the alarm position, and the root jonin will not allow such a thing to happen. The kunai pressed directly at the throat of the chunin on duty, but all he had in his eyes was a willingness to die. To read the exciting novels, go to Falun Novel Network. As for the feelings towards Konoha, the small ninjas who are retail investors, those who can't even be called a family, are the ones who love Konoha the most. Wind style, fierce wind, the hand seal is just a little bit off, what a pity. But at this moment, Manye's shadow clone descended from the sky, crushed the roof of the attic on duty with one foot, and rushed into the house with a biting cold wind. The Gen Jonin didn't even think about it, and raised his hand with his backhand, cutting the Konoha that fell from the sky in two with one sword. The shadow clone that landed on the ground, with a bang, turned into a wooden stake that broke into two halves. The shadow clone's body turned into an afterimage, came to the Gen Jonin's abdomen, and punched out with his knee. The shadow clone has limited chakra, and many must use it sparingly, otherwise he will die, and the Chunin who survived with great difficulty in the attic will die again. Asking for flowers. Bang! An air explosion suddenly appeared, and the shadow clone punched the Jonin's afterimage with a heavy punch. Minister Manye! The Chunin exclaimed in surprise. Don't be happy too soon, I'm just a shadow clone. Hurry up and sound the alarm and notify the nearby Jonin to come for support. Don't come, Genin. In a Jonin's battle, Genin is just a burden. After leaving this message, Manye chased after the Jonin's escape route. Yes. Manye could not hear the reply of the Chunin. The two of them left the attic one after the other, and the next second, a blazing red firework exploded. The attic is located in the mountains, and the terrain is high. Once the fireworks for help exploded, half of Konoha could be seen. The figure shuttled through the woods at high speed, appearing and disappearing in the branches of the trees from time to time. When he appeared, he disappeared, because it is not the original body. Manye cannot release many of his acceleration methods and powerful ninjutsu. This intruder tonight is a Jonin. Knowing his reputation as Uchiha Manye, it is not surprising, but what is strange is why the other party ran away without looking back when facing a shadow clone. Kage-level masters are strong, but not so strong that even a shadow clone, a Jonin, can't deal with it. Judging from Manye's use of the shadow clone and the remaining chakra, he can now, at most, fight with a Jonin for 3 moves. And this shadow clone will be dispersed by him. Things are really. It was strange, the root Jonin did not show any ninjutsu related to the ninja village, and his escape was also simple and unpretentious, the instant body technique. We can't waste any more time. He squeezed it further, and the shadow clone's residual chakra increased Manye's sprint speed by 2 levels. After no longer holding back, Manye had at most one chance to attack. While increasing his speed, he concealed his body and made himself temporarily disappear from the root Jonin's eyes. Manye's sudden acceleration, as well as the continuous use of clones and changing positions, made the Jonin lose his figure for a short time. There was no trace of Uchiha Manye in the forest, on the ground, anywhere. Where did he go? In the sky. Thinking of the place he hadn't found, the root Jonin's heart stopped for a while. Facing a long-established master, he was still so careless, which was simply courting death. The blue arc of electricity shone in the sky, and the crisp sound of thousands of birds singing filled the entire mountain. Chapter 124. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The towering tree, the treetops, the Manye shadow clone turned upside down and covered in a piece of electric arc. It rushed down straight against the tree trunk, and the Chidori arc light was shining. The moment the Nemoto Jonin realized that Manye was above his head, the shadow clone cut his body in the moment. The dazzling electric light penetrated the human body, and in an instant, half of the Jonin's body was directly roasted. The charred body fell to the ground, and the shadow clone also exhausted the last chakra at this time, turning into a wisp of green smoke and dissipating the world. After the shadow clone died, the memory was transmitted back. Brother, something happened in Konoha. After receiving the information, Uchiha Manye picked and told Fugaku the general situation. I don't know if Ming Jonin bypassed Konoha's barrier and sneaked in alive. If this gets out, Konoha will become a laughing stock in the history of the ninja world in the future. Konoha's barrier has many loopholes, but who is the person who saw it? At the level of Madara and Hashirama, why do they need to sneak in? They can come in openly and show their invincibility, and no one dares to say no. Black Zetsu and Obito, let alone, the Mayfly technique is really a life-saving ability. The only person who is stronger than him is Obito, who has his own world of Kamui. The next one is Orochimaru, the proud disciple of the third Hokage and the leader of Konoha for many years. The barrier can protect against outsiders, but it cannot stop the traitors. The same goes for Itachi, who came later. Only the Cloud Ninja from the Land of Lightning somehow managed to sneak in and kidnap the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family. Danzo will probably have to take the blame for this mess, as he has been coveting the bodies of the two powerful families, the Uchiha and the Hyuga, for a long time. Letting the Cloud Ninja in might be his plan to take over both families. This time, the invaders are a bit weak, aren't they? Fugaku thought about it, compared to Obito, who released the Nine Tails, killed his master and slaughtered the village. Danzo's route is not bad, but who can blame Obito Mingju for that? Without his ability to save his life, why did he go to Konoha to cause trouble? It is indeed a little weak, but this time is different from last time. The invader this time was much more cautious. When my shadow clone arrived at the scene, he was clearing out the sentry on the inner border mountain. The inner circle is already considered the heartland of Konoha. Going around the border mountain and walking a little further in is the inner circle of Konoha. As if he had heard the implication of Mene's words, Fugaku changed the subject and said, "Are you saying that there is a traitor?" "It is not certain yet, but I think the person who came is very powerful. If he is only a jonin, then it is almost certain. It is not too difficult for a jonin to sneak into Konoha with the help of a master. The difficulty is how to prevent Konoha from noticing it at the first time. Secondly, the families guarding the periphery of Konoha are the two powerful families, Uchiha and Hyuga, the powerful existence that can stand its ground in the entire ninja world and can stand its ground. It is impossible to bypass the sight of these two families, but even if it is a play, this jonin still succeeded. He touched the heart of Konoha without being discovered. If it were not for the reflection of many Bienyu nearby, the Uchiha clan would still be kept in the dark. Many, who do you think did it this time? Knowing that it was done by an insider, Uchiha Fugaku was not anxious. The person who was anxious when his movements were exposed would only be the mastermind behind the scenes. Being able to bypass half of Konoha's patrol team and reach the border mountain is not something that can be done by one or two ninja clans working together. Many was too lazy to guess who the person was. If this person didn't have a certain status in Konoha's high-level officials, he wouldn't even want to see the Konoha border defense map. It's easy to dodge an open spear, but it's hard to guard against an arrow from the dark. The first line of defense for the major ninja villages is always the hidden bunker. It's either the third Hokage or Danzo. Many finally decided on the candidate. It's not that the person is not suspicious, but they don't need to do so at all. They should stay in Konoha and be the superiors. Who would be idle and run to be a traitor? To read the exciting novel, go to Falun Novel Network. Konoha has been struggling for a lifetime, taking the wrong medicine and flirting with ninjas outside the village. Konoha surrounded the border mountain, and after sending out an emergency distress signal, the village came alive in an instant. A group of violent organizations woke up, and the Umbun ninjas poured out of their homes. Konoha was blocked, the edge of the village, and the sealing class was sent by the Umbu ninja, put a knife on their necks, and kindly asked them to stop. After Konoha opened fire, all the root ninjas were captured after a certain amount of casualties. If you let someone escape in your home battle, you can't be a ninja anymore. It's a disgrace. A busy night passed. In the Umbu cell, after spending an entire night, the intruder was captured, and he became a corpse 3 hours ago. People are all suicides, toxins. The medical ninja detected that it is a chronic poison. It does not affect the strength, but after a certain period of time, if the antidote is not obtained, there is only one way to go, and that is death. Konoha's medical ninjas tried to prepare an antidote, but unfortunately they all failed. The people who came here were all assassins. Most of them didn't think about returning safely, and no matter how the Umbu tortured them, they couldn't pry their mouths open. The illusion didn't work. The leaders of these people had a sealing technique in their brains. If they touched their memories or said something they shouldn't say, the sealing technique in their brains would send them away one step ahead of time. Konoha Guard, Minister's Office. Many flipped through the interrogation records sent by the Umbu. 7 jonin, 35 chunins, and 140 genins. Danzo, you are really generous. After reading the records, many hammered Danzo directly, saying that the third generation had just returned. How could he have so many assassins? The Sarutobi clan had some, but unfortunately Sarutobi Hiruzen could not mobilize them. So many people, and the loss of 7 jonin, even the Uchiha and Hyuga. Such wealthy families are unwilling to bear it. How difficult is it to train a jonin? In non-wartime, a ninja who follows the normal process and rises from a genin is at least 40 years old. There are not so many geniuses in this world, and it is impossible to support a ninja village with geniuses alone. The 5 major ninja villages are called the 5 major because they have the complete training process of how to stably output jonin, comprehensive appeal process 5.0. It is conceivable that Danzo, the king of cowardice, is secretly. How many resources were hidden? 7. Jonin died without even blinking an eye. Konoha has suffered such a huge loss again since the Nine-Tails Rebellion, and most of the places where the incidents occurred were in the periphery of Konoha, where the Uchiha clan guard stayed. It was obvious that they were targeting the Uchiha, but this was exactly what Uchiha Manye wanted, as he was worrying about how to get rid of the guards. In an era when everyone was giving up, Uchiha, a guy who didn't play by the rules, showed up. Before the death of the 4th Hokage, the treatment of the 4th Hokage in the inner circle of Konoha was the same as the current situation of the Uchiha in the periphery, but after the Nine-Tails Rebellion, everything in Konoha changed. Whether it was good or bad, the villagers of Konoha below couldn't understand. Chapter 125. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are 3 generations in front of them. Danzo is watching, and there is Madara who is waiting for the night of genocide that he has prepared at some point. Many doesn't have the heart to care about Konoha anymore. As for the villagers on the periphery, there is a saying that what you lose is the best. People who are favored are always fearless. Minato was there to back them up, but fate separated Many and Minato. Minister, there's a letter from the Hokage. Murakami Watari opened the door and walked in with a letter. Uchiha Manye looked up and said, "What did he say?" "Lord Hokage, please go to the Hokage building." The news of the intruders last night had spread all over Konoha before dawn this morning. Everyone was shouting and demanding an explanation. Konoha had been peaceful for so many years, and since the night of the 9-tailed fox, unfortunate news has been reported one after another. In particular, these 2 incidents are related to the Uchiha clan. Forget about the unknown 9-tailed demon fox. After all, there are not many villagers who can survive after seeing the Sharingan Magatama in its eyes. If this rumor can be defeated, what is the point of the 3rd generation's efforts? Konoha has always been on the periphery, with the Uchiha and Hyuga clans as the base, and some surrounding ninja clans just picking up some soup. Foreign enemies invaded last night, and no one in the entire guard team noticed anything wrong. Many villagers died, and it was not until the next day that their wives and husbands woke up and discovered the tragedy. The 9-tailed demon fox. They could have been indifferent and put themselves on the sidelines, but this time when foreign enemies invaded, they could no longer sit idly by. They used to be laughed at for the inner demon fox causing chaos, but now they themselves have become a laughing stock. Okay, the guard team will be closed today. All team members should go home or rest. Don't show up in the guard building. The 3rd generation is trying to lure the tiger away from the mountain. Without Wanye's suppression, once the guard team clashes with the villagers, they will never be able to stop. Yes, Minister. Murami Watari wanted to continue speaking, but was interrupted by Many. Listen to me, the guard team will be closed in a few days. As long as the Uchiha is here, there will be no peace in the periphery. Today is just an appetizer. Many said this to him on purpose. At this time, there will be a lot of eyes monitoring the guard team. He is also expressing his attitude to the Hyuga group. No one is a fool, but there is Danzo who pretends to be stupid. The 3rd generation, Danzo, wants to further erode the real power of the Uchiha in Konoha. Many is also willing to let go. What power is there? The 3rd generation is getting more and more confused. What's the use of fighting for power all his life? If it weren't for Madara, who was probably squatting somewhere, Many could have twisted the 3rd generation's head off now. In the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and tricks are a joke. Practice well. Muramito's own strength will be more important than the power you hold now. Now, you may not understand, but how do you think I got to where I am today? What do you think were the reasons why each of the successive Hokage became the Hokage? The support of the village is one aspect, but in my opinion, it is more about their strength. The strong have the right to choose at all times. People like you can only be chosen. It doesn't matter if you don't understand now, think about it carefully. Don't hang out with other people in the future. You might as well improve your own strength while you have this world. Muramakai Watari has been with Many for quite a while, and giving him some pointers is also worthy of the time they have worked together. After that, Many left without looking back. Many and Fugaku talked about the follow-up arrangements of Uchiha last night. To read the exciting novels, go to Falun Novel Network. Fugaku chose to believe Many's words instead of his Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Manye has never let him down in his life, and I believe this time will be the same, although it is not clear what Many is guarding against. Fugaku still chose support. Many has played an indispensable role in the present situation of Uchiha. If his brothers don't believe in it, who can he trust in the future? Fugaku suppressed all the opposition in the clan, but Shisui obviously didn't agree. The village is already so vigilant against Uchiha. If it continues to be conservative, it will only push Uchiha into a dead end. Shisui's statement attracted the approval of many clan members, but they still had to listen to the clan leader. Hokage building, a group of Konoha advisors and elders took their seats in advance, waiting for him, the head of the guard, to arrive. Many, we asked you to come this time. The Sandai spoke with a regretful tone, but before he could finish his words, he was interrupted by Uchiha Manye. Okay, I know, this time I came here, I also want to resign to the elders and consultants. The Uchiha are responsible for what happened last night. As the head of the team, I am fully responsible for the punishment. The Uchiha are no longer suitable to continue to serve as the guard. Konoha's safety should be taken care of by a more suitable person. We Uchiha are old and tired. Uchiha.Manye's unhurried words stunned everyone present. It's not that they hadn't imagined his attitude, but they really didn't expect Uchiha Manye to cooperate to this extent. Originally, this time, the third generation only planned to force Manye to abdicate. Of course, it would be even better if he could stuff a puppet into the guard team and serve as the director. It would be the best if he had it, but if he didn't, the third generation would not feel regretful. However, when Uchiha Manye cooperated to this extent, the third generation suddenly felt that he had punched the air with his fist, and the other party didn't take it at all. There are people who are more depressed than him, and there are also the group. Danzo was responsible for most of the invading ninjas last night. The third generation at best sent some genin to serve as cannon fodder. It was a foolproof plan, but when he arrived at Uchiha Manye, he had nothing to do and threw a shadow. Clone around Konoha, Danzo not only lost his wife, but also lost his soldiers. He went through a lot of trouble and tried to put pressure on Manye in a roundabout way, but the people just turned around and agreed without any resistance. This makes people very uncomfortable. In the final analysis, it's still the sword. If it's in line with your wishes, you think it's too easy. If it goes against your will, you come to complain that Manye is too difficult to deal with. People. By the way, Elder Shimura. Before leaving, Manye remembered that he had something to say. Next time, if you want to force me to step down, just tell me. I don't really want to be the minister of the guard, if it weren't for Minato. It is not easy to train a jonin. Don't let people be the dead soldiers in the future. They are all talents of Konoha. They have worked hard for half their lives and finally climbed to the position of jonin. In the end, he was killed by his own people. What a pity, isn't it? After getting rid of a troublesome matter, Uchiha Manye felt much better. Chapter 126. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The current clan members are too weak, so he has to train the Uchiha clan members before the plot begins. Otherwise, even if they survive the extermination plot, they will be cannon fodder. The Sharingan must be given to Orochimaru for research at a certain time. The Uchiha clan has spent their entire lives trying to figure out something, so it would be a good thing to let Orochimaru analyze the genetic data. After Uchiha Manye left, in the Hokage building, the third Hokage and his group looked at each other in bewilderment. Is this the Uchiha Manye they knew? When did this thorn become so easy to talk to? Danzo, do you have anything to say about what Uchiha Manye said? Without Manye, if the elders want to make their presence felt, they can only turn to Danzo. You also believe the words of the Uchiha thief. Since when did you become so stupid? You really disappoint me. Danzo would never bother with them, they are just a bunch of trash, without Sarutobi Hiruzen, what else can you do? He wanted to speak, but Danzo didn't even look at him. Sarutobi Hiruzen, remember what you promised me. After reminding the third Hokage, Danzo disappeared, and his clone appeared again. Danzo was too lazy to argue with the people behind the third Hokage. He had to hurry up and investigate the reason for Uchiha Manye's drastic change in personality. What happened to this Uchiha lunatic? The Uchiha clan's century-old foundation can be handed over to others like this. Who would believe that there is no problem? In the next few days, after the Uchiha clan members who were sent out returned, they would basically not step out of the clan unless there was something important. What happened to the Uchiha clan? The whole Konoha wanted to know. There were many spies planted inside and outside, but the news sent back every day was all about practice, practice, and practice. The younger generation of the Uchiha clan, except Shisui, was basically punished by many. Weak with this, you still have the nerve to call yourself a member of the Uchiha clan. Who gave you the courage? With the little power you have shown now, it is no wonder that Itachi and Obito can kill you together. The praise of the Konoha wealthy family has made too many people lose their minds. Compared with ordinary ninjas, the Uchiha clan is indeed blessed, but is it really enough to stop here? For several days in a row, the Uchiha clan spent their time under the scolding of many. Everyone, every day, don't think about resting unless you train yourself to death. Men and women are treated equally. On the battlefield, which opponent will care whether you are a man or a woman? The Uchiha is not like the Hyuga clan. The Sharingan is guarded by a caged bird. The Uchiha clan has the most people whose eyes have been gouged out by the enemy village. There is no way. The Sharingan is too practical. The clan leader's courtyard. Many, aren't you afraid that they won't be able to hold on if you do this? Fugaku looked at the clan land worriedly. The clan members who had squeezed him to the limit over and over again these days. One person might, 2 people, 3 people, the same goes for that, but a group of people, that's not necessarily the case. Because no one in this world will admit that he is born worse than others. It is nothing more than self-deception. He just hasn't tried hard enough. It's a nice thought, but the purpose of hard work is just to tell these people that even if you work hard, you are still a waste. The role of companions is to let these people know that even if they are trash, it is not a reason for self-degradation. Even if they want to, the clansmen in the same group will not let them choose to give up. That's right, Uchiha Manye, this black-hearted guy, implemented collective punishment during the training assessment. If one person fails, the whole team will be punished. Those who can still stay now are all worthy of training. The real scum was cleaned up by many on the first day. Maybe they are lying on Orochimaru's experimental table, waiting for his arrival. For those who really have no talent, as long as they can be saved, many did not give up, but threw them into the second echelon, where the training intensity was not as exaggerated as that of the first echelon. After Uchiha evacuated the guard team, the third generation led the team to give each ninja clan good things in proportion. At the place, the guard team was re-established. To read the exciting novels, go to Falun Novel Network. After the inner patrol team, the various clans of Konoha once again took control of the outer security forces of Konoha. After a group of scoundrels took their positions, they acted in a proper manner for a few days. In the first few days, once the novelty wore off, these relatives who were sent in by the various clans began to live a normal life day after day, at ease. They were useless people who lived a life of idleness and waiting to die. These people were not good at other things, but they were born into a good family. If the war mission was thrown on them, one of them would die, and there would be too many useless people in the clan. There will always be complaints from the tribesmen. The patrol team in the inner circle of Konoha was born in such a background. Unlike the secret bunker, the patrol mission in the open is really enough to tie a dog. It is not needed anyway. After the Uchiha evacuated the guard team, the villagers in the periphery who were attacked by foreign ninjas celebrated for a while. I thought that after the Uchiha left, life would return to normal and go back to the old days. Unfortunately, it did not go as planned. Without those passionate young people like the Uchiha, the thieves and vendors in the periphery of Konoha became active again, for them, since the 4th generation, and they haven't had a good day since many came to power. They lived in fear day and night, fearing that the guard ninja would come to their lair and kill them all. Similar things have happened countless times. Fortunately, they survived in the end. The death of Minato Namikaze and the fall of Uchiha Manye were no less than a new life for them. Half a month later, Uchiha Manye issued the strictest order. Only members of the middle and upper ninja clansmen had to go out. The tasks were the responsibility of the upper ninjas, and the food and drink of the whole family were the responsibility of the clan. When they pass Manye's assessment, they are qualified to go out. Non-ninja clan members are not affected by this ban. On the outskirts of Konoha, half a month after the Uchiha withdrew the guard team, the villagers on the outskirts once again recalled the village before, although there were no burning, killing and looting, thefts and a lot of forced prostitution were happening uncontrollably. Smuggling and human trafficking are common. The outer and inner circles are separated by a mountain, which is like two different worlds. The situation in several core blocks on the outskirts is still relatively good. There are ninja families nearby, and the villains roaming the mountains will not be stupid enough to deliver themselves to the door. In an era where everyone is busy with their own business, who has the time to care about the lives of the lower-class villagers? Hokage building. Hokage-sama, this is the latest intelligence of the Uchiha clan today. The Umbu handed over the information and then left on their own, not disturbing Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was thinking. The third generation read similar reports countless times, and he kept thinking, what is the point of Uchiha Manye tossing around like this, his own clansman? Could it be that he wanted to turn against Konoha completely? But the Uchiha still accepted the mission, and the commission for the mission was still received according to the proportion of the village. Chapter 127. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What powerful enemy did they encounter in such a war? The only possible rival of the Uchiha clan that had a conflict recently was Konoha, using the power of the Uchiha clan to challenge the entire Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen admitted that the two Uchiha Manye brothers were not bad, but he still thought it was a fantasy. In the battle between ninjas, unless they were as strong as the gods on earth like Madara and Hashirama, no matter how strong the ninja was, once they lost their chakra, they would just be slaughtered. Do you want to test it? The third generation smoked his pipe, puffing out clouds of smoke. Shisui didn't give him any useful information, which made the third generation suspicious. Speaking of Shisui, it was quite unfair. In the Uchiha clan, every day there was training, and the corresponding information was passed on countless times by the various clans. How could Shisui have nothing to do and give the third generation the same report? Uchiha Manye didn't know why, but seemed unusually obedient. His dangerous ideas in the past had not been spread a word, and every day he only knew how to change ways to torture clan members. However, regardless of the process, the strength of these Uchiha ninjas has indeed increased unprecedentedly under the torture of many. Shisui, the third generation, cannot be completely relieved now. The only person he can trust is himself. The more the Uchiha are in a good state, the more uneasy the third generation feels. One day, Uchiha Fugaku, with a gloomy face, found Manye, who was training 757 clan members. Manye, the third generation, still couldn't help it. What happened? Manye stopped and handed over the training duties to Yakido, then he followed his elder brother and left the training ground. After the devil instructor left, the training ground was full of Uchiha people. Their eyes were red, and they looked at Yakido with tears in their eyes. After so many days, he finally waited until Manye was gone. Yakido was also soft-hearted, and she watched them from the side when Manye was tormenting them. Take a break. But only for half an hour. Very good. Are we living like human beings these days? Training and training every day. I really want to tie the instructor here and let him experience it all for himself. Give up, you can't beat him. Whatever chaos there is in the training ground is none of Manye's business. Third generation, start reducing the commission rate for our Uchiha clan members. Fugaku took out the commission data of the clan members who had returned from missions in recent period, and after comparing the commissions of various levels, he found that they were 10% less than before. The ratio is not very high, but when converted to a ninja clan, the money is not so considerable. What about the branch? Manye didn't care too much. When he discussed with Minato about setting up a branch, he was prepared for this day to come. Minato was a gentleman, so he didn't need to be prepared, but the third generation couldn't. We have always controlled the distribution ourselves, and the third generation cannot intervene. Fugaku once again admired Manye's foresight. Brother, what are you going to do? If the branch is stable, then these things won't be a problem. In the same proportion, I will cut it back. I won't take advantage of Sarutobi Hiruzen with this little bit of money. Uchiha Fugaku is also quite capable. He can't see the third generation's plan clearly, but he can get a rough idea of it. He won't fall into this trap, which is not even a trap. Big brother, as long as you have a plan, tell the clan members not to accept the recent missions from the headquarters. Show our attitude and see what the third generation wants to do. Without the participation of the Uchiha clan, the mission hall of the Konoha headquarters was obviously unable to operate, so many missions were diverted to the branches. If the third generation was a little more ruthless and gave up directly, the Uchiha family might not be able to do anything to him. However, some of the branches outside Konoha are not only the Uchiha clan, but also the Hyuga clan. To read the violent novels, go to Fulu Novel Network. The third generation dares to harm others and not benefit himself, and he will have to bear the bitter fruits of his own actions. This is only the prologue, and the real killer move of the third generation is still to come. The next day, the news of a failed mission caused an uproar in Konoha. The protagonist is still a senior ninja of the Uchiha clan. 10 days ago, at the diplomatic meeting between the Land of Fire and the Land of Earth, the diplomat of the Land of Fire issued an escort mission. At that time, the third generation had not yet taken action, and the relationship between the Uchiha clan and the village was going on as usual. Okay, the mission itself was a trap set by the third Hokage for the Uchiha, and no one could do it, because from the beginning, this mission was left to the Uchiha. If there is anything, find Danzo. As Sarutobi Hiruzen's #1 man, there is no reason not to do so. Being targeted by Danzo, it would be a miracle for the diplomats of the Land of Fire to survive. After 5 days of open and covert assassinations, under the deliberate guidance of Danzo, a pair of Umbu from the Tsuchikage village, under the guidance of the Root, found the Uchiha team that was escorting the diplomat. Danzo had a hard time on both sides. As the saying goes, enemies only see dividends. Today, no one is left at the border, and this matter is not over. However, this is a layout against the Uchiha after all, so how could Danzo let them have an easy time? The Uchiha team sent countless letters for help to Konoha, but there was no reply. They were all intercepted by the Root ninjas. After enduring another 3 days, the Uchiha team, who was out of ammunition and food, in order to protect the lives of his people, the Jonin Hajime announced that he would give up the escort mission. The Jonin wanted to take the diplomat away, but unfortunately the other party was unwilling. In the end, the diplomat died on the border of the Land of Fire. At the same time, news came from the Land of Earth that their diplomats had been waiting on the border for 7 days and 7 nights, but no one showed up. He would convey the contempt of the Land of Fire to the king. When the news was passed back to the Land of Fire, a bunch of nobles and high-ranking officials were furious, but they could do nothing. They couldn't afford to offend Konoha. In comparison, the Land of Earth was easier to bully than the ninjas. The war was about to start again. Countless people from the Land of Fire and the Land of Earth cried and howled. Whenever there is a war, the people of each country always suffer. Not only the people of the two countries are worried, but also the villagers of Konoha. In the Ninja Village War, they were the ones who suffered the most. The Root Ninja raided Konoha. How many people still remember the incident vividly? How could they forget it? With the details of the escort coming out, such as the Uchiha clan ninja abandoning the mission, which led to the death of the diplomat, and some details that were selectively concealed, such as several requests for help, but no response was received. People are always willing to believe in things that can harm their own interests. The rumors of the war between the two countries are just a storm, but they can make people panic. The details of the escort mission only revealed the tip of the iceberg, but they were eager to vent their dissatisfaction. There is no difference between heroes and sinners in their eyes, because on weekdays, the villagers of Konoha have no chance to despise these high-ranking ninjas, especially those from the Uchiha clan.